you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Wet Sand by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, of course, featuring the great John Frusciante. And man, this is a cracking tune. We're all really passionate about John Frusciante stuff, and this particular album's full of, well, I think some of his best guitar work. But there's a lot of layers going on in this song, so parts of it I've kind of had to simplify a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple of variations of each, particularly like the little pre-chorus thing, because there's a few approaches to looking at that, and I'm going to encourage you to try and seek out some of the versions that you can find with just the guitar or the guitar and the bass, because it'll give you a deeper picture into the tune. And I'm kind of showing it for you for one guitar part, and I'll show you the little bits where I'm a bit like, it could be this or it could be that, because there's a few in this song where I'm kind of haven't quite convinced myself through my own transcription skills, and therefore, you know, my ear's pretty decent, so I'm hoping I got it pretty close. But anyway, so let's check it out one step at a time. Always the best way to learn this kind of a tune. So we're going to start off with just really super simple, get the chords right, and then start to have a look at some of the rhythm patterns, and then start to add in the fills and the variations on the chords and stuff. So starting off with the verses and the intro. You could simplify this right down. You do need a B minor bar chord, okay? So if you're not familiar with the B minor chord, then you can check out the intermediate course on my website. That'll teach you all about how to play that B minor chord, because it's not a super simple open chord shape. The chords for the verse are simply G for one bar, then we're going to D chord for a bar, sometimes with an A bass note, but you can just think of it as a D, then E minor for a bar, and then to B minor for a bar. Okay, that sequence again is G, probably the third three-finger G, not the four-finger G, to the D, to the E minor, and then to the B minor. We go into the bridge, E minor for 2, G for 2, D for 2, and E minor for 2. That sequence again, E minor, G, D, E minor. I'm going to show you a different way of playing this in a second, but E minor again, G, D, E minor, and the last time, every time we play it, the last time it's going to go E minor, G, and then D, and it's going to stay on the D for 2 bars. Okay, that's probably enough to get started off with, and then we'll look at the chorus in a second. So, first thing that you want to get handy with is getting that basic chord sequence down, because if you can't play the chord sequence like that with the real simple strumming, you're not going to have much hope of making it more complicated, which is what we're about to do now. So because there are fills involved in this song in between the kind of the strumming parts, it's a lot easier to learn a basic strumming pattern first of all. And what you're going to find is, if you listen through the original recording, there's a couple of times through the chorus sequence where there's a lot of fills, and then the fills kind of stop and the bass take over and do the fills. So it's really important that you get a kind of a basic rhythm pattern sorted out really early days, really. And the pattern that I'd recommend, that's a kind of a good general pattern, there are some minor variations as we go through the song, right? But a good kind of starting point will be this down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, 1, 2, E and up, 3, E and 4, E and a 1, 2, E and up, 3, E and 4, E and up. Okay, it's a fairly complicated 16th note strumming pattern. It's not particularly difficult if you remember to keep your hand moving. It's really important with these things. Keep that hand moving even when you're not strumming, okay? Particularly in this song when we have to change and start playing fills and then come back to keeping that hand moving. It's kind of one of the challenges of this tune, but it's well worth the effort. So let me just break that down real slow for you. So what we've got here is 1, 2, E and up, 3, E and 4, E and up. Okay, can you see the way the hand keeps moving? Even like on that first beat, we just got 1, 2. So we got 2 down strums in a row, but I'm making 4 kind of motions with the hand. That's a really big deal, because it's going to help you not only play the fills, but kind of add in what we call ghost notes. So strums that are kind of half there, but not really there, right? We'll talk about those in a sec. So again, that pattern, 1, 2, E and up, 3, E and 4, E and 1, 2, E and up, 3, E and 4, E and down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, 1, 2 E and A, 3 E and 4 E and a 1, 2 E and A, 3 E and 4 E and a 1, 2 E and A, 3 E and 4 E and a 1, 2 E and A, 3 E and 4 E and. Now doing it just with the mutes is a really, really good way of practicing your rhythm and making sure that it's nicely in time. Good thing to do, again, practicing along with the original recording while doing this. So before you've even tried to learn any of the fills, can you play along with the rhythm? Can you get the rhythm right? Because rhythm's really a big deal when you're learning a song like this. If you can't keep the rhythm steady on its own, again, you're going to really struggle to add those fills in later on. So spend a little bit of time working on that rhythm and then see if you can apply that rhythm to the whole chord sequence, okay? So you'd have G, D, E minor, B minor, okay? So that definitely should be your first step. Can you get that rhythm right? Because that rhythm already, it sounds like the tune, right? That rhythm's very distinctive, and with those chords, now we just got to add in a few fills, and we're kind of nearly all of the way there. So we're going to go to a close-up now and check out how to do all of the fills. It'll be a lot easier to learn that way. But what's really important is that you remember these fills are going in the rhythm, right? So you have to figure out from that rhythm pattern, that basic pattern that I've shown you, where you break off to do the rhythm fill. And I'm going to do that with the count. So again, really might be useful to write down the rhythm that you need. 1, 2 E and A, 3 E and 4 E and A. Okay? Write that down because that's going to help you make sense of what the rhythm is of the fills. Quite a lot of fills going on here. So starting off with a G chord, and as I mentioned in the intro there, a lot of people might play it with a kind of rock G using 4 fingers, but it definitely sounds to me on the original recording like kind of regular old 3-finger G chord there. So we'd start with that. Now it's a D chord. Now very often in this song the lowest note being played here is the A string, the open 5th string. So on that D chord you just want to make sure you're not playing the thicker string but playing the A note there, sometimes quite deliberately, is going to sound pretty cool, but you know, be fine if you just play D as the lowest note too. When we move to the E minor, we've got this little kind of hammer-on lick in the transition, which is playing the open A string, the 5th string, with a down pick, hammering the 2nd finger down in the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then playing the thicker string before we continue with the strumming. Okay? Down, hammer, down, then 2 E and up, 3 E and. Okay, so we're using on beats 2 and 3 the regular strumming pattern. Let me just go through that point up until the end of that bar. So G, G, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4. Okay? 1 E and 2 E and up, 3 E and. Really important you get that rhythm. 1 E and 2 E and up, 3 E and 4 E and. Okay, so on beat 4 here, we've got these 2 little mutes, which is transitioning here between the E minor and the B minor. We want to lay that first finger down, so it's not pressing all the way down, it's just resting on the strings to let us get some mutes there. So we're going down, up, and then on the down, we're using little finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string and giving a little bit of a curl, a little bit of a bend, not a proper bend, but just a little bit of a tweak on the way to the onto the B minor, sorry. So the E minor, okay, 1 E and 2 E and up, 3 E and 4 E and. Okay, and then we've got that bass note there, which is the B minor. The rhythm on this bar of B minor is a little bit sticky, probably the hardest rhythm in the whole song to make sure you get right under your fingers. Again, listening is going to help a lot, but let me go through and count it. So we've got this 1 and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Okay, so it's really, the lead line is coming in a bit earlier than you might anticipate. So again, 1 and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Down, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then we're back on the G. Okay, let me play that first 4 bars real slow for you. 3, 4 and a 1, 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a D, 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and 1 and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Okay, a little bit of practice with this one. Again, playing along with the original recording, listening a lot is a really good idea, as is using any sort of software where you can slow the original track down. It's a really good thing to practice. Is if you can't play it at full speed, playing along with the original recording at say 70% or something, or 50%, just whatever it is that means that you can actually play it along. So the rhythms for the next 4 bars are pretty much the same. We're just adding in a little fill at the end of each chord, kind of as part of a transition. So we have the G chord. So we just got this little, which is open D string, hammer on the first finger into the 2nd fret of the 4th string, flick it off, move it over to the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and flick it off. Down, down, if you want a suggested picking, but you wouldn't have to stick with that. Okay, so G, 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a D. So right on the D on beat 1, instead of doing a strum, we're just playing the D note, okay? Down, up, down, same fill there. But then we go to an E minor. Okay, so we're just going to play this note, which is the B note, the 2nd fret of the 5th string. I'm going to play that first, and then we're going to start doing that strum. Sometimes I'm adding a little bass note as well. Can't remember if that's on the record. It's not in my transcription, but I think I add that in sometimes. So we have this G, the D, there. So I'm just doing the B, then the low E string, both down picks, same pattern. We've got the muted little, with a little curl, with a little finger going to the B minor. Now this time the fill there starts right on the beat. 4 E and a 1 on the is the G chord. Okay, so 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 2nd fret on the 5th string, and then back to the 3rd fret, which is our G chord. Okay, 4 E and a 1. Okay, so let's play that second 4 bars all of the way through. So from the G, 1, 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a D, 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and E minor, 2 E and a 3 E and 4, B minor. Okay, there's the riff again. Now next time through, next 4 bars, very, very similar again. So G. Okay, slightly different fill. Open A string, that's the 5th string, then 2nd fret, then open D string, 2nd fret, and then we play the open 5th string before we start strumming the D. So this is definitely a D with an A bass. So G, 4 E and a bass, D. Okay. The fill at the end of the D chord is open A string, 2nd fret, 4th fret, open D string to 2nd fret of the 5th string, which is the one before the E minor. So G, 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a open A, D string, Now there's a little tricksy one here on this this time. It happens a few times later in the song as well. John's playing here the 4th fret with his first finger, 4th fret of the 5th string. Hammer the 2nd finger down in the 5th fret and then flick it off. Slide the 1st finger back to the 2nd fret and then flick it off to the A. Okay, a little bit tricky. And then we're to the B minor. Okay, so that's that 3rd 4-bar sequence will be this. Now the bass comes in. And for the next 4 times through that sequence, the guitar's a lot simpler. There are a few little fills, which if you want to pick up off of the record, feel free. But I'm not going to go through all of those with you now because they're very, very minor variations. It's really basically just this strumming. And the bass gets really funky, doing some nice fills all of the way through while it's just being played nice and simply. You know, as usual, John's the master of playing for the song, so giving some space there instead of trying to fill it out all himself, he's giving some space for Flea to put some fantastic bass lines in, which is, you know, classic Chili Peppers, amazing musicians. Anyway,